Welcome back to Classic Radio Drama Theater. This episode saddles up for a ride into the heart of the Old West, bringing you 4 classic tales from the airwaves. We'll explore desperate claims in Dodge City, witness the high cost of foolish hearts, unravel a mystery cloaked in superstition, and expose the tangled motives behind a town's turmoil. Get ready for justice, deception, and frontier thrills. Our first stop is the dusty streets of Dodge City with Gunsmoke in The Wrong Man. A homesteader arrives claiming a hefty reward for killing a wanted outlaw. But when Marshal Dillon inspects the body, a disturbing question arises. Did he kill the right man, or commit cold-blooded murder?
Gunsmoke. Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, a transcribed story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Hey, you. Where's the marshal's office?
What do you want the marshal for?
Well, I'll tell him that. Where's his office?
I'm leaning on it.
Oh.
It ain't no use you're going in there.
What?
Marshal Dillon ain't around.
Well, where is he?
He won't be back for 2-3 hours.
Oh, I can't wait that long.
Well, I work for him. My name's Chester Proudfoot.
Oh, yeah, I heard of you.
You have?
I didn't know who you were. I don't get to Dodge but seldom. My name is Sam Rickers, Chester. Got me a homestead I'm proving up a few miles west of here on the Arkansas, see?
You got trouble of some kind, Sam?
Oh, no, not me. But I want to show you something. That's my wagon standing over there, the one with a woman sitting on it.
Your wife?
Yeah. Now, come on over. I'll show you. Come on.
What do you want to show me?
You're going to be real surprised, Chester.
I am?
Everybody is, except them that knows me, of course. Here we are. Hey, Letty, don't sit there like you was dead. Look around.
That ain't Marshal Dillon, Sam.
The marshal ain't here, but this is Chester. He works for him.
How do, ma'am?
Howdy.
Chester can take care of everything. Can't you, Chester?
Well, if you'll tell me what it is, maybe I can.
Oh, well, you're going to be real surprised.
Hurry up, Sam. Get it over with. Give him his surprise. You're so pleased.
You shut up or you'll get nothing out of this.
I don't want nothing out of it.
I don't pay no mind, Chester. Come on around to the back of the wagon. I'll show you. There.
Who's that?
I had to wrap him up in canvas. Here, I'll uncover his face. There. Take a look at that.
My goodness, where'd you get him?
He rode into my place last night, about supper time. He didn't figure on finding a fellow like me there, I guess.
Well, say, you must be a whirlwind to shoot a man like him.
Oh, no, it was part luck, I guess. But I didn't haul him in here for nothing, Chester.
Yeah, I know. But Mr. Dillon will have to take care of all that, Sam. It'll be a little while before you get anything.
As long as I know it's coming.
Oh, sure, you'll get it. But right now, you can help me carry him up to Doc so that he can do an autopsy.
It'll be a pleasure.
Hello, Mr. Dillon.
I found your note downstairs, Chester, so I came straight up. Where's Doc?
He's out back finishing up. Hey, Doc! Mr. Dillon's here.
What's this all about, Chester? Who killed Bob Hulbert?
Sam Rickers killed him.
Sam Rickers, a homesteader?
Yes, sir. That's what he said he was.
Well, I don't know Rickers well, but he sure never seemed the kind of a man who'd take on an outlaw like Bob Hulbert.
$1,000 reward might have bravened him up.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Matt.
Oh, Doc.
Well, you've got a good bad man there. You can take him out to Boot Hill and plant him anytime you like, Matt.
That's not much of an autopsy report, Doc.
What's there to report? Hulbert was wanted, dead or alive, so... how he got shot doesn't matter.
How did he get shot?
Twice in the chest. Once in the back.
In the back?
Well, I can't tell you which was first, Matt, but get him buried, will you? I don't want him around here all day.
I haven't seen him yet, Doc.
Do you know Bob Hulbert, Matt?
Yeah, some years ago. This is his first time around here, though.
Last time, too. I guess Dodge was too tough for him.
That might be like saying Ford's Theater was too tough for Mr. Lincoln, Doc.
If he was shot in the back first, you mean? Well, there he is. What's the matter, Matt?
Sam Rickers isn't going to collect $1,000 reward for this.
What?
He might hang for it, though. I don't know who he murdered here, but it sure isn't Bob Hulbert.
Look at that place, Mr. Dillon. You'd think Ricker could prove it up better than that.
Sam Ricker isn't the most enterprising man I ever met, Chester. Not till lately, anyway.
It's sure a funny way to murder somebody, ain't it?
Now, we better leave our horses here.
Here they are. They must have seen us coming.
Yeah.
Hello, Chester. Marshal Dillon.
Hello, Sam. Miss Ricker, ma'am.
Howdy.
Say hello to the marshal, Letty.
How do, Marshal?
How do you do, Miss Ricker?
I like to be called Letty, Marshal. Mrs. makes me feel kind of old.
Why, sure.
Stop trying to fool people, Letty. You know how old she is, Marshal?
Don't, Sam, please.
Sam, I came out to talk to you about that man you brought into Dodge this morning.
That man? Well, that's the most valuable man I ever run into, Marshal. Why, out of him, I'm going to build me a new house, buy me some hogs and cows, and I don't know what all. I've been telling Letty about all the things I'm going to do with that reward money.
I wish you wouldn't take it, Sam.
What?
I just don't want any part of it.
All right, stop that.
You interfering with a man and his wife, Marshal?
If I have to, I am. But you're not going to get any reward money, Sam.
What do you mean?
That wasn't Bob Hulbert you killed.
What?
I don't know who it was, but it wasn't Hulbert.
What are you talking about? I knowed him as soon as he rode in here.
How did you know him? Where did you ever see Bob Hulbert?
Well, I seen his picture last week on one of them wanted cards down at the post office.
Hey, by golly, that's right, Mr. Dillon. I plumb forgot. Them posters come in last week, and I nailed a couple of them up here and there.
I saw his picture, too, Marshal. I recognized him right off.
Well, the man Sam killed looked a little like Hulbert, I'll admit that. But it wasn't him.
Sam.
Shut up, Letty.
But that makes it murder, Sam.
No, it don't. It was a mistake. The marshal said he looked like Hulbert's picture. It wasn't my fault.
Tell me what happened, Sam.
I didn't murder nobody. It was a mistake.
You want to tell me about it, Letty?
No. I'll tell you. It was like this. We seen him coming. It was about supper time. And when he got close, we both recognized him. So I went outside and, well, I told him to keep riding. We don't want no outlaws around here. And then he started to pull out his gun. I shot him. That's how it happened. Ain't it, Letty? Ain't it?
That's right, Marshal. That's what happened.
There's one thing you didn't tell me, Sam.
What?
How come he got a bullet in the back?
Oh, well, he fell off his horse and he was rolling around and I shot him again. Must have hit him back, I guess. You saw it, Letty.
I saw it.
Letty, if Sam went on trial, would you swear to all this in court?
Yeah, I'd swear to it, Marshal.
You were the only witness to this.
It's the truth, Marshal. Self-defense. Why should I be lying?
I don't know, Sam. I'd just like to know who the man was that you shot.
Well, he was some kind of outlaw. Drawing on me like that?
Maybe, but you were taking quite a chance bucking a man you thought was Bob Hulbert, weren't you?
I ain't afraid of no man, Marshal. No man at all.
Uh-huh. Well, don't ride it too hard, Sam. It might throw you someday. So long.
Drink your beer, Matt.
No thanks, Kitty. I don't think I want it after all.
You're gonna have to pay for it just the same.
Okay. You know, there must be something wrong with me, Kitty.
Yeah, there sure is. I wish I knew what it was.
Well, I can tell you what it is tonight.
I know. Sam Rickard.
Yeah. You know, there's sure something wrong with that story of his.
Yeah, there's something wrong with that wife of his, too. Putting up with him.
Oh, she's afraid of him.
I'd take an axe to him if it were mine.
You Marshal Dillon?
Yeah, that's right.
My name's Catlin, Marshal, from San Antone.
Oh, what can I do for you, Catlin?
You can explain this to me, that's what.
Matt, that's Bob Hulbert's wanted poster.
I don't know nothing about no Hulbert, but that's my partner's picture you got on there. $1,000, dead or alive. Now, what's this all about, Marshal?
Well, maybe you can tell me, Catlin.
Tell you nothing. I got off the train here this afternoon. First thing I see is a wanted picture of Jake Haney with somebody else's name under it.
Jake Haney, huh?
Been my partner for 10 years, and he ain't no outlaw. Never been in Kansas in his whole life before. Where is he, anyway? He was supposed to meet me here. You got him in jail or something?
Jake Haney's dead, Catlin.
Dead?
That's not Haney's picture there. That's Bob Hulbert, like it says. Your partner looks some like him, and, well, he got shot.
Well, who'd shoot Jake Haney? He never had trouble with nobody. Carried a gun, sure, but I always done the fighting for us. I don't believe it, Marshal.
I'm sorry, Catlin, but it's true. We buried him out on Boot Hill yesterday.
Who killed him, Marshal?
He was killed by mistake, Catlin.
Nobody's killed by mistake. Now, who killed him? Wait a minute. You did.
It doesn't matter who did.
I'll find out. I'll get the man that done it. You or whoever.
It was a mistake, Catlin. Your partner and Hulbert looked enough alike to fool you, didn't they?
You gonna tell me who did it, Marshal?
No.
And I'll find out myself. Jake Haney was as honest and decent a man as I ever knew. He ain't gonna die like this, for nothing. I'm gonna kill the man that did it.
You kill anybody here and you'll hang for it, Catlin.
Not me. Not if I have to kill you too, Marshal.
Don't try it.
I'll see you later.
Sam Rickard won't stand a chance against him, Matt.
I better send Chester out to warn him. He can come hide in the jail if he likes.
He'll like it if he's smart.
Yeah. Oh, Kitty, Doc and I are going to have supper together tonight. Won't you join us?
I gotta eat sometime.
I'll go find Chester, then I'll come back for you.
Okay, Matt.
Good morning, Mr. Dillon.
What did you do, Chester? Spend the night out at the Rickers?
Yes, sir. I sure did.
That's a pretty small place. Where did they sleep you?
Oh, there was lots of room, Mr. Dillon. Plenty of it.
Now, what do you mean?
I was all alone. I never did see neither Sam nor Letty.
Are they gone?
It looks like it, but I sure don't know why. Like you said last night, that fella Jake Haney was never around here before, so Sam couldn't have had no reason for wanting to kill him.
Yeah, but Sam had some reason for running off.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Matt. Morning, Chester.
Hello, Doc.
I thought you were going out of the Bowers place today, Doc.
I was, Matt, but Bowers sent one of his men in to say they didn't need me after all.
I thought a cowboy busted a leg out there.
That's what they said yesterday.
Well, must be a pretty tough man. Bust a leg and don't want no doctor?
Tough or stingy, one. You know, I charge $20 for a trip like that.
Oh, that's a month's wages for a cowboy, Doc.
So, to save $20, he'll probably put a mud cast on it and have a crooked leg the rest of his life.
If he brings his $20 into town and runs it up to $1,000 at Faro, he won't care if he has a crooked leg, Doc.
Chester, you trying to ruin my practice?
Oh, I was only kidding, Doc. He'd never run it up to $1,000.
Yeah, but I accept your apology. Well, if that's what it was. Say, Matt, I was talking to Sam Rickers after I left you last night.
Sam Rickers, here in Dodge.
He was over at the hotel with his wife. Why?
No wonder I never got to see him.
Or did they spend the night in town?
What's wrong with that?
Why, nothing.
Huh? Oh, well, I told them all about Catlin. Everything you told me, Matt. I figured somebody ought to warn Sam, seeing as how Catlin's staying right there at the hotel, too. That was all right, wasn't it?
That's okay as long as Catlin doesn't know about Sam.
Well, there's no way he can know. Kitty won't talk, and the three of us here sure won't.
Now, he's safe if he keeps his mouth shut. But, I better go talk to him.
With all the money Mr. Dobie makes, you'd think he could paint his hotel once in a while, wouldn't you?
Well, if you stay inside, I guess it doesn't matter, Chester.
Marshal, I was just coming for you.
What's the trouble, Mr. Dobie?
There's been a shooting, Marshal, right here in my hotel.
What?
Now, that's got to stop, I tell you. I won't put up with
Never
anything
mind
like
that. What happened?
Well, I don't know, Marshal. Heard a couple of shots upstairs, ran up, found Sam Rickers there in the hall. Now, I don't know what happened, but I've kept everybody from going up there.
Come on,
because I don't
Chester.
want them messing around here.
Well, there's Sam. He ain't shot.
What happened, Sam? Dobie said there'd been a shooting.
Yeah, there's been a shooting, Marshal. Look, in this room here.
That's Catlin, Mr. Dillon.
Who killed him, Sam?
I did.
You did.
I had to, Marshal.
Oh, tell me what happened.
Well, you see, Doc told me Catlin was looking for who shot his partner, so I got to thinking, and I figured the only way out was to talk up to him, tell him how I made a mistake. Don't you think that was right?
That doesn't explain killing him.
I better get Letty out here. She saw it. Letty, come on out here. She can tell you.
What do you want, Sam? Oh, the marshal.
Come out here, I said.
I don't want to talk, Sam.
You'll talk when I tell you to. You saw what happened, and I'm going to explain it to the marshal.
Well, go ahead.
Okay. Like I was saying, Marshal, I wanted to talk to Catlin, so I found out which room he was in, and I went, knocked on the door, and he opened it, and then when I told him who I was, before I could say anything else, he grabbed for his gun. I had to shoot him, Marshal. It was self-defense.
Catlin's gun's laying on the floor in there, Mr. Dillon. He had it out, all right.
You saw it, Letty. Is that what happened?
I saw it.
Tell him, Letty.
I don't want to talk.
Tell him what you saw.
Please, Sam, I feel kind of sick.
No! Stop
don't,
it, Sam.
Please don't.
I told you once.
You've hurt him, Marshal.
I knocked him out. He's not hurt. Sam's no good, Letty. Now, why don't you stand up for him? You afraid of him?
He's my husband.
No woman needs a husband like that.
I married him.
Maybe he was different then. But the way he is now, he doesn't deserve a wife. Now, he's no good, Letty, and you know it. And you're going along with him makes you as bad as he is.
No, don't say that, Marshal. I'm not like Sam.
If you lie for him, you're just like him.
No.
Now, tell me what happened. Did you see it?
I saw it.
Was it like Sam said?
No.
All right, then tell me.
I can't stand it, Marshal. I can't stand it no more. Sam's a murderer. I hate him. I won't tell no more lies for him.
I'll go on. He won't hurt you again.
That first man, Marshal. We thought he was that outlaw. He looked like him. So Sam went in and got his gun and sneaked around the house while I was talking to him. He shot him in the back. Like killing a hog. Then he turned him over and shot him twice more in the front. Makes me sick, Marshal.
What about Catlin? Sam killed him the same way?
Of course he did. I tried to stop him, but he had his gun out when he knocked on Catlin's door, and then he shot him just as soon as he opened it. And then he took Catlin's gun and threw it on the floor. I watched him, Marshal.
Marshal, she's lying. Don't listen to her, Marshal. She's a lying woman.
I'm not lying. I saw you shoot both those men like killing hogs.
Wait till I get you alone, Letty. Talking about your husband that way, I'll bust you good.
You won't get her alone, Sam. You're under arrest.
I don't care if you are my husband, Sam. You're a coward. You're a terrible coward.
I ain't. No, I ain't. I killed him, didn't I? I killed 2 men.
Give me your gun, Sam.
No. You ain't taking my gun. I ain't a coward.
Give it to me.
No.
He tried to draw on you, Mr. Dillon.
Yeah. Come on, Letty. I'll take you back to your room.
He's dead. Sam's dead.
I couldn't let him shoot me, Letty.
I told the truth like you said, Marshal. And it made me hate him. Talking about him, it made me hate him worse than I ever did.
I'm sorry I had to make you do it.
I ain't even gonna bury him, Marshal. You do it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going out and I'm gonna burn down the place. And then I'm leaving here. For good. I'm going now.
Goodbye, Letty.
It ain't your fault, Mr. Dillon. You couldn't have handled it no other way.
No, I couldn't, Chester.
But it is too bad you had to make poor Miss Rickard tell on her own husband.
Yeah. But sometimes I wish it was somebody else's job to make people do things like that.
Gunsmoke, transcribed under the direction of Norman MacDonald, stars William Conrad as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal. Tonight's story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston, with music composed and conducted by Rex Corey. Sound patterns by Ray Kemper and Tom Hanley. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Vivi Janis, Vic Perrin, and Lawrence Dobkin. Harley Bear as Chester, Howard McNear as Doc, and Georgia Ellis as Kitty. Join us again next week as Matt Dillon, U.S. Marshal, fights to bring law and order out of the wild violence of the West in Gunsmoke.
This is the CBS Radio Network.
From a case of deadly mistaken identity, we stay in the world of Gunsmoke, but shift focus to matters of the heart, and perhaps the head. In Old Fool, an aging rancher finds himself unexpectedly smitten with a neighbor. Will this late life infatuation lead to happiness, or will it cost him everything he holds dear?
Around Dodge City and in the territory on West, there's just one way to handle the killers and the spoilers, and that's with a U.S. Marshal and the smell of gun smoke. Gunsmoke, starring William Conrad, the story of the violence that moved west with young America, and the story of a man who moved with it.
I'm that man, Matt Dillon, United States Marshal. The first man they look for and the last they want to meet. It's a chancy job, and it makes a man watchful and a little lonely.
Doc.
Kitty! Oh, you finished breakfast?
Yeah, but sit down. Have some coffee with me.
Thank you. I think I would.
To what do I owe this honor?
Huh?
Why aren't you having breakfast with Matt or Chester?
Oh, well, I would, but they're out of town.
Well, that's flattering.
Oh, no, Kitty.
Where are they?
Oh, they went fishing. They left last night. Said they'd be back this morning sometime.
Well, you should have gone with them. Didn't they invite you?
Yes, but I couldn't go. I promised old man Bass I'd have some powders ready for him last night when he came into town.
Old man Bass? Who's he?
Oh, I don't think you know him, Kitty. He lives out near the old Barton place. It's just him and his wife. They don't come into town very often. Oh, they're nice people, though. Salt of the earth.
More coffee?
Don't mind if I do. Thank you. That's good, thank you. Yes, Hannibal and Della Bass are quite a couple. They've been married about 45 years. Fine people.
You selling marriage, Doc?
There's nothing wrong with it, is there?
I don't know. Never had much chance to find out.
You're not telling me you've never been asked.
Yeah, I've been asked, all right.
But not by the right person?
Maybe that's it. Look, this is pretty heavy talk for 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I guess it is at that.
Let's get back to, what were their names?
Bass. Hannibal and Della Bass. Oh, you'd like them, Kitty. I tell you what, I'll take you out there one of these days, huh?
I'd like that.
Good, then we'll go... Yeah, well...
What's the matter, Doc?
You know, I was just thinking about those powders I made up for Hannibal. I'm afraid I might have leaned a little heavy on the soda.
Well, that won't hurt him, will it?
Oh, no, it won't hurt him. Of course, he might feel a little bubbly for a day or so, but...
Come on, Doc. Drink your coffee.
I heard you come back from Dodge last night, Hannibal. Didn't figure you'd be up in time to do the chores, late as it was. Here you are.
Ah, thank you, Della. I ain't missed doing the chores in 20 years.
You didn't get to bed till past 10. Did you get your powders from Doc Adams?
Yeah, I got 'em. Funny thing,
Ever since I started taking them, I felt kind of bubbly.
That's good, ain't it? I mean, that's what them powders are for.
Sure, that's what them powders are for. He's a good doctor, that Adams fella. Hey, well...
Sounds like one of the Schultz got himself caught up.
Could be, or could be a wolf.
Shotgun's loaded. It's right behind the door there.
I got it. See you later. All right, hold on there.
Don't shoot, mister. Don't shoot.
Stealing pigs, huh?
Please, mister.
I'll put him back. And easy. Now, young fella, I reckon I got the right to shoot you.
Hannibal, what's going on here?
I caught me a pig thief, and I aim to shoot him.
You do no such thing. Who are you, son? Ain't seen you around here before?
We're Nestor people, about 20 miles north of here.
Huh? What's your name?
Dunch Head, Pest.
Suppose your whole family's out marauding through the countryside instead of working and making out on it.
Now leave him be, Hannibal. Poor boy's half starved.
Ah, he ain't no boy. Nothing gives him the right to steal my pig.
Well, I'd have paid you back sometime when we were making out better, maybe.
Thieving ain't no way to make out for no man.
Hannibal, you hitch up the wagon, take this boy home. You tell his people what he done, they'll punish him.
If people's any good, they'd have brought him up right to begin with.
Well, you take him out there and you see.
Oh, I swear, Della, you're treating him like he was candy.
You do what I say, Hannibal. You take him home.
Well, all right. You know something, boy? You was mighty lucky she come out when she did. All right, let's get walking. This ain't much of a place you got here, Dunk.
Oh, it's poor, but we only been here a month.
Well, it won't improve by itself, you know.
Ma? Hey, Ma, we got company.
Who is it, Dunk?
Well, this here's Hannibal Bass, Ma.
How do you do?
Oh, ma'am. Is your husband around?
He's been dead 5 years. What is it you want, Mr. Bass?
Well, I brung Dunk home so's his pa could whup him for stealing pigs.
Dunk?
Well, I didn't figure he'd miss one little old pig.
Oh, I'd rather starve than have my boy thief.
No, Ma.
Things ain't gone too well with us, Mr. Bass. It's hard being a widow woman. All alone. Poor.
Oh, well, I didn't know you was a widow woman.
That's what I am.
Oh, boy, why didn't you tell me about this?
All you wanted to do was shoot me.
Oh, no.
No, I wasn't going to shoot him. I just wanted to scare him.
Oh, well, you can still have the law down on him,
No,
though.
I don't have to do that. Maybe he's learned his lesson.
No, you're a good man, Mr. Bass, and kind. I could see that right off.
Well, yeah, I ain't one to hold grudges. I'm just trying to be fair.
Oh, what a shame there ain't more men around like you. He's a real gentleman, ain't he, Dunk?
You ought to see their place, Ma. You wouldn't believe it.
Nice, huh?
Oh, I worked hard on that place.
Mr. Bass, won't you stay for a cup of chicory?
Thank you, but I'd better be getting back.
Mr. Bass, if you're ever through this way again, we'd be proud to have you drop in.
Oh, well, thank you, ma'am. Yes, I'll do that.
Oh, it gets awful lonesome out here, especially for a woman.
Oh, yes, ma'am. It surely must. Well, goodbye.
Bye, Mr. Bass.
Ma'am? Dunk?
You sure calmed him down, Ma. I think he's forgot about the pigs.
Yeah. And he'll be back.
Got a surprise for you, Dunk.
For me?
Yeah, you and your ma.
This is for us, all this stuff in the wagon?
All for you. Now, where's your ma?
The inside, pretty enough. We seen you coming.
She didn't have to go to no fuss.
She said you'd be back.
Oh, did she?
I told her what a fine place she got. The house and the barn and all.
Hello, Mr. Bass.
Hey, Ma, look what he brought.
Oh, now, Mr. Bass, you shouldn't have done that.
Nothing, ma'am.
My gracious, my goodness gracious. Oh, we couldn't accept all that.
Just a few little things.
A few little things, chickens and pigs and corn and coffee and, oh, goodness knows what all.
Well, the way I figured, them that's more fortunate ought to share what they got.
You're too good.
I'm just doing what I see is right, like I told Della when I loaded up this morning.
Oh, you're a fine man.
Maybe I should start unloading.
Oh, look at that. Pure coffee. Why, we ain't had coffee in over a month. Oh, my. You sure made us happy today, Mr. Bass. Now, you come on in the house, and I'll fix you a cup.
Oh, well, there ain't hardly time.
Oh, please stay. It'd be good to talk to someone. I need a man to talk with, Mr. Bass.
Oh, just for a little while, then maybe.
You get that stuff unloaded now, Duncan. We'll be inside.
Okay, Ma.
Mr. Bass, you got to remember we ain't very fancy here. But it's what's in the heart that counts. You come along now.
Oh, Gondella, where are all my shirts? I can't find a one.
There's plenty in the bedroom.
Not good ones.
Your good ones is all dirty, Hannibal.
Doggone it, anyway.
You're forgetting we had 6 Sundays this past 2 weeks.
What?
The way you've been dressing.
Well, what's wrong with a man cleaning up once in a while?
Nothing at all.
You know you're getting mighty sour, Della. You're always on me about something.
Oh, no.
Matter of fact, I don't know as I ever pleased you. Not from the day we got married. I don't think I could ever please you.
Don't you try to turn this around on me, Hannibal Bass.
Oh, you just don't understand me, Della. You never did.
That's it. That's what I've been waiting to hear you say.
What?
I bet the widow Hedgepeth understands you fine, don't she? I bet she even told you she did.
Now, you leave her out of
Not
this.
likely I'll leave her out. Hannibal, I've been mighty patient with you these past 2 weeks. But my patience is gone.
Well, so is mine. I'm through, Della.
Through?
I'm going to marry Elsie Hedgepeth.
Why, you old fool.
Now, don't you call me that.
You poor old
Now,
fool.
Della.
I love you, Hannibal. I always have. But my gracious, you can be ignorant.
Oh, I don't have to stay here and listen to this.
Yes, you do. Don't you budge out of this house.
Why not? What are you going to do?
I'm going over to talk to Elsie Hedgepeth.
You're what?
That woman may be too smart for you, Hannibal, but she ain't too smart
You
for me.
look here, I won't stand for
You'll
this.
stand for it, all right. There ain't nothing else you can do.
You're just going to make a fool out of yourself.
We'll see who the fool is. Whoa. Hello? Anybody home?
Yes?
You Elsie Hedgepeth?
That's right.
I'm Mrs. Hannibal Bass.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. You gonna get down out of that wagon?
I'll say what I have to say from here.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to see what a husband stealer looks like.
I ain't stole your husband.
No, and you ain't going to. Not that you ain't trying.
He's a grown man. He can do what he wants.
You're a bigger fool than he is.
Is that all you come here to say?
I've been married to Hannibal Bass for 45 years. And I've loved him that long, too. I ain't about to quit now.
Well, maybe you ain't got much choice. I bet Hannibal told you he's gonna marry me.
He also told me I didn't understand him.
Well, that's sure true enough.
Mrs. Hedgepath, I didn't come here to ask nothing of you. I came here to tell you something.
Go ahead. Talk all you want. It won't change nothing.
You don't want my husband. All you want is his house and his worldly goods. You admit that?
I ain't saying nothing.
Well, I want him, and I don't care if he's rich or poor. Now, there's a difference there, ain't there?
You're just jealous because you can't hold him no more.
All right. Ain't no use talking to you. I'm going to have to show you.
Here, now. What are you doing? You put down that rifle.
Maybe you'll understand this.
You murderer! You shot the heel off of my shoe.
Maybe you understand now.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot again!
Next time it won't be your heel. You think about that, Widow Hedgepath?
That's peaceful enough looking, ain't it?
Yeah, from here anyway.
You reckon that's her standing out there?
Yeah, must be. Come on. This the Hannibal Bass place, ma'am?
It is.
Then you must be Miss Bass.
That's right.
Well, I'm Marshal Dillon from Dodge. You mind if we get on?
You're welcome, Marshal.
Thank you. This is Chester Proudfoot, Miss Bass.
How do?
Proud to have you here, both of you. Come inside and I'll fix you some coffee.
Well, I think I better tell you what we came here for first.
Oh? Hannibal ain't in some sort of trouble, is he?
No, ma'am. I'm afraid you are.
Me?
Judge Flint issued a warrant for you. The complaint says you tried to shoot a Miss Hedgepath.
Oh, that. Marshal, I'm too good a shot to try and shoot somebody.
Are you sure convinced her? She rode all the way to Dodge to tell the judge about it.
Did she say anything to him about how she's been trying to steal my husband? To run off with him?
No, ma'am.
Well, she is. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get this milk inside out of the sun.
Can I help you, ma'am?
No, thank you. I can manage.
How can you let her go like that, Miss Dillon? She'll most likely be back out of that house with a gun.
I don't think so.
Why on earth not? She's a pretty strong-minded lady.
Yeah, but I don't think she's a murderer. Maybe the judge got taken in by that Miss Hedgepath a little bit.
Here she comes.
Miss Bass, where's your husband?
Over to the widow woman, like he's been every day lately.
Oh, I see.
Marshal, let me tell you something. This is a good farm. Took Hannibal and me a long time, and a lot of hard work to get that house and barn up. 5 years, in fact.
You got some good stock out here, too, hogs and all.
We do for a fact. And that's why the widow Hedgepath is after Hannibal. This place. She wants it.
But it's still against the law to go around shooting at people, ma'am.
I guess you're right. It don't seem to have made no difference anyway. I just wish there was some way to bring Hannibal to his senses.
Miss Bass, you said your husband was over at the Hedgepath place, huh?
Yeah.
How do you get there?
Straight north. Just follow the trail you come here on. Why?
Maybe Chester and I will ride up there. I'd like to have a talk with your husband.
That's kind of you, Marshal. But it won't do no good.
Well, we'll try anyway.
He's going to marry that woman, Marshal. And so far, I haven't been able to think of a thing to stop it.
Well, let's see what we can do, Miss Bass. We'll see you later. That must be Hannibal Bass sitting on the stoop there.
Looks kind of like an old turkey, don't he?
I wouldn't let him hear you say that.
your name?
Who are you talking to, Hannibal?
I'm Marshal Dillon, Miss Hedgepeth.
Oh, Dodge. Well, I'm afraid you come to the wrong place, Marshal. You must have rode right by the Bass farm.
What are you talking about? What is it?
I went into Dodge the other day, Hannibal, and I got the judge to issue a warrant for her arrest.
Who's arrest?
Your wife, Della. You didn't expect me to do nothing about her trying to murder me, did you?
You ain't going to put Dell in jail, are you, Marshal?
No, I'm not.
What's this all about?
Well, I'll make this real simple, Mr. Bass. This business has gone far enough. It's got to stop before somebody gets hurt. Now, you're coming back to your place with me right now.
Oh, no, he ain't, Marshal. He's staying right here.
You're going along, too, Miss Hedgepeth.
What?
And once we get there, everybody's going to lay their cards on the table, and I'm going to be there to see that they do. Now, let's get ready.
I ain't going alone. I'm going to take my boy, Dunk.
I don't care who you take, but we're starting back as soon as you get your team hitched. Now, let's get going.
The old Bass place will be right around that bend, Mr. Dillon.
Uh-huh.
It'll be good to get in out of this hot spot. Looky there.
Yeah, I see it.
Burnt to the ground, the whole place.
Come on.
Hello there, Marshal Dillon.
What happened here? You all right?
I'm fine, Marshal. That Hannibal coming?
Yes, they're right behind us in the wagon.
Good.
But your house and the barn, how did it happen? Both of them at the same time? I swear I don't understand it.
I think I do, Chester. Just wait.
Della!
Evening, Hannibal.
Oh, Della!
You brought her home a little too late, didn't you?
I didn't bring her. The marshal did.
Ask her what she thinks now, Hannibal.
You done this, didn't you? You set fire to the whole place.
I said ask her what she thinks.
I think you're crazy. I think you're both crazy.
You still want to marry him?
Dunk, turn this wagon around and drive me home.
Sure, Mom.
Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Well, Hannibal?
Oh, you was right, Della. I'm just an old fool.
We're going to have to start from scratch again.
Well, we done it before.
Hannibal, I fixed your favorite supper. Bean whole beans.
Oh, Della. Oh, you're some woman.
Now, Hannibal, you stop that. You got gas.
Oh, yes.
Marshal, if you and Chester care for bean whole beans, we'd be proud to have you stay for supper.
My goodness, I ain't had none of them in years.
We'd be mighty pleased, man.
You'll have to sit on the ground to eat 'em. I saved a few plates and things out of the house. I'll get 'em.
Oh, no, you won't. I'll get him. You've done enough work today, Della Bass.
The story was specially written for Gunsmoke by John Meston and adapted by Mr. McDonald.
Now, let's ride out to the wide-open range with another legendary Western hero. Hopalong Cassidy faces a baffling mystery in the Phantom Panther. Ranchers are losing cattle to an unseen predator, whispered to be a vengeful spirit. Is this truly a supernatural threat, or is a more cunning human hand behind the terror striking the range?
With action and suspense out of the Old West comes the most famous hero of them all, Hopalong Cassidy, starring William Boyd. The ring of the silver spurs heralds the most amazing man ever to ride the prairies of the early West. Hopalong Cassidy, the same Hoppy you cheer in motion pictures, and the same California you've laughed at a million times. Raw courage and quick shooting have built a legend around this famous hero. Hopalong is a name to be feared, respected, and admired, for this great cowboy rides the trails of adventure and excitement. William Boyd as Hopalong Cassidy, and Andy Clyde as California. What's our story this time, Hoppy?
The Phantom Panther, we call this. California and I were at the end of a long day's trek through the Mesa country on our way home to the Bar 20. We were thinking about setting up our overnight camp when I saw something I didn't like. California, hold it.
What's the matter, Hoppy? Oh.
Yeah, man by that rock holding a rifle. Let's go up easy. Howdy, stranger.
Howdy. Howdy.
He looks friendly enough.
He does now. He was holding that rifle as if he was ready to use it. Evening, mister.
Evening. Would you get down and sit a while? My name's Purvis. Folks hereabouts mostly calls me Pop.
I'm Hopalong Cassidy. This is California Carlson, my partner.
Hopalong Cassidy. Sure pleased to meet up with you. Howdy, Carlson.
Howdy.
Excuse me mentioning it, Mr. Purvis, but you seem to be keeping a sharp eye on all those steers out there.
Yeah. And it may sound local to you gents, but I'm watching for something that can't be seen.
Sure does sound right.
Wait, California. Mr. Purvis, I don't mean to be too curious, but maybe you'd like to tell us what's bothering you about those critters out there.
Sure, I'll tell you. Practically every night for 4 weeks, something's been killing off them steers. And them as ain't killed are getting skinny and off their feed from being stampeded.
Steers killed and stampeded. What's causing this, Purvis?
A panther.
A panther? Oh, one bullet from that 30-30 you got there should stop any panther I ever saw.
Yeah, any you ever saw. But no one has ever seen this varmint. This here's a phantom panther, Cassidy. A phantom, you hear? Is a ghost cat.
A phantom panther. A killer.
I tell you, in 4 weeks I've lost 40 calves and a dozen prime yearlings. Well, when it first began, I got together the local ranchers and we watched and we hunted for that cat, but he can't be seen. He can't be seen and he can't be killed.
But why are you out here watching all by yourself tonight, Purvis?
No, nobody'll help no more. Folks say it's no use hunting a ghost. Fact is, they're all just plain scared.
Can't see I've gotten to the idea of hunting a ghost, Panther, myself.
So all your neighbors have given up?
Just about. We're holding another meeting tomorrow morning at the bank over at Broken Arrow. Don't know what good it'll do.
Well, go anyway, Purvis. California will now show up, too. Right now, you get on home for a good night's sleep. We'll stay here and watch your herd tonight.
Well, now that's right friendly. And I sure do thank you. And you'll be at the bank tomorrow?
You can count on us.
Then good night to you. Gee, Josephat, if I don't think maybe we'll get that panther yet.
We'll try, Purvis. Good night.
Good night.
What's your figure, Hoppy?
I don't figure yet, California. I was thinking. A phantom panther.
What in blazes was that?
A panther, California. Let's get him. Circle left. I'll cover this side.
Cows are blocking this, but I'll try. Hoppy up. Them cows sure were fidgety. That panther scared them all right, but looks like we missed him.
But he didn't miss, California. Look here.
That calf? Dead. Killed by the phantom panther.
Hoppy and California have met Pop Purvis, a rancher whose steers are being killed and stampeded by a phantom panther. While Hoppy and California are standing watch, the panther strikes again and leaves a clawed and dead calf. Now, the next morning, Hoppy and California enter the Broken Arrow Bank for a meeting of the local ranchers about the problem of the phantom panther.
Yes, I know. Well, just about all we can do.
This looks like the place, California.
Hopalong, Cassidy. Sure glad to see you. Shake hands with Bart Lomas here. He's our banker. And this here's Thad Dixon. has the valley spread next to my range.
Hi, Loomis. Dixon.
How do you do?
This is my partner, California Carlson.
Hi, Dixon, California.
Howdy, Jack.
Purvis, I got bad news. One of your calves got clawed to death last night. Couldn't get to it quick enough to see what did it.
Again, that Panther.
Oh, no, I'm sorry to hear it. And frankly, I'm worried. I certainly don't want that cat getting down the valley to my herds.
Now, this is serious, mighty serious. In a few months, we'll be driving cattle over the trail to market. This rate, you're not going to have much to drive, Pop.
Oh, I know it better than anybody, Bart. With my daughter Jane marrying up with a Gleason boy from over the valley for winter, I want to pay off that mortgage you're holding and give 'em a good start with a paying ranch and healthy stock on it. This way, all they look to get is a darn fine water hole on darn good rangeland and not a standing critter on it all.
Well, when I gave you that mortgage, I didn't expect anything like this to happen, but... well, we better get on with the meeting. Everybody's in the next room here.
Let's go then. Come along, California.
Trouble. Here we come. So what I say is, setting up a watch for that Panther won't get us anywheres, Pop. You said yourself he strikes in one place one night and a couple of mile away the next.
But, Ben, if enough of us was to circle the herd, he'd have to cross the line somewheres to get at the steers. Stands to reason.
Ain't no reason to that Panther. He can just drop out of the air into the middle of the herd.
You're talking crazy.
He does it every time.
That's right.
Sure he does.
Cassidy, you just come onto this thing. Can you make any sense of it?
Yeah, tell us what you saw last night, Cassidy. That is, if you saw anything.
I saw a dead calf with his throat torn out.
Sure, we all seen purposes that critters, but nobody's ever seen that phantom panther.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe nobody's seen it yet. To me, that's no reason why everyone should sit back and see Pop Purvis ruined.
Mr. Cassidy, I don't think you understand the overall situation here. As you may know, this is all new range country. Fact is, Purvis and I moved out here about the same time. 2 years ago it was. And the spread Pop Purvis took up has, it seems, certain disadvantages.
A good water hole and plenty of grass range don't spell out disadvantages to me, Dixon.
I'll tell you what Dixon's been polite about saying, Cassidy. That mesa land where my range sits once was some kind of Injun holy ground. Their old medicine men did their hocus pocus up there. Bad medicine it was, supposed to drive out their enemies. Now, what folks around here are all thinking is that the Panther that's killing my stock ain't a real varmint, but a spirit. The Injun bad medicine spook critter.
You mean to say all these men believe that granny talk?
You ain't heard it all yet, Cassidy. The night we all watched, why, 12 of us was riding that range. That cat clawed 2 critters dead. 12 of us was there, and we didn't see it.
But just last night you was there yourself, Cassidy, and you didn't see nothing.
Yeah, how about him?
There you are, Mr. Cassidy. Now, maybe you understand the situation better.
Maybe I do understand, Dixon. At least I understand there are a lot of scared hombres in this room.
And just what do you propose to do about it, Cassidy?
Just this. Phantom or not, I'm going to get that Panther. It'll be dark tonight, no moon. If we keep moving around the herd, one of us might cross the track of that cat.
Just let me sight it once. That's all I crave.
Say, Pop, how come you ain't moved your cows off in this range? Seems like you're just inviting that Panther to get at 'em.
Only place they can get enough water. The 3 adjoining ranches got barely enough for their own herds. But I won't have no problems once I sight that Panther.
Well, maybe it'll be soon, Purvis. Right now, we'd better get set to watch. Suppose you swing around to the left. We'll go the other way.
Suits me. I'll look for you later. The other side of the mesa.
Right. Let's go, California.
You know, Hoppy, it ain't exactly my idea of fun, this hunting an invisible wildcat.
You don't mean you believe in spooks, California?
Well, Hoppy, I once come on a fellow who showed me a hole in the ground he dug. He claimed it was the deepest well in the territory. Well, maybe 'twas and maybe 'twasn't. I didn't tell that feller I believed him, and I didn't say I thought he was a liar. On the other hand, I didn't go jump down that well hole to find out if he was right or wrong. Same with spokes and spirits. If I leave 'em alone, I never have to decide whether I believes in 'em or not.
Well, this Panther is one spook we're not going to leave alone.
I wished we was back in the bar 20 right now.
Hold it, California. It's across the range, the way Purvis went. Come on!
Ain't been no shot. Reckon Pop didn't see the Panther.
Those cars are moving. Let's get them milling in a circle.
They're stampeding, Hoppy. I can't string them.
Head them into that gulch. The cliff wall will stop them.
Oh, darn. That was the wildest ride I ever took since I tried riding a range buffalo.
Yeah, luck was with us. If we hadn't been able to make the leaders veer off, the whole herd would have gone over that bluff.
Say, I wonder where Pop Purvis was doing all the commotion.
He was on the wrong side of the herd to help any.
Yeah, probably waiting for us now.
California. Look there. Pop's horse.
Huh? Yeah, and the saddle's empty.
There's Purvis on the ground. Let's get down and take a look. He's dead.
Poor old Pop. Trampled to death by his own cows.
No, California. Look at his throat. Ripped open. The Panther killed Purvis.
Pop said all he craved was a sight of that Panther. Well, he got it.
I wonder if he did see anything.
Now, back to Hopalong Cassidy and our story, The Phantom Panther.
I just want you to know, Miss Jane, that California and I are staying and seeing this thing through.
I'm grateful to you, Mr. Cassidy, but what reason is there for going on now?
The same reason your father had. He built up this ranch for you. And trying to protect it, he died.
Yes.
And Hoppy and me, we'll just take over from where he left off.
But I can't let you two risk your lives for me like that.
Let that be our lookout, Miss Jane. Well, you seem to have callers, Miss Jane.
Come in.
Hi.
Hi.
Mr. Loomis, Mr. Dixon, Clark, and Ben. It's most kind of you to call at this time.
Not at all, Miss Jane, not at all. Personally, I want to say that as your neighbor and friend, I hope, you know you can count on me for anything.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Miss Jane, I don't guess I have to tell you how every one of us feels for you on account of old Pop. I mean your pa.
And a lot of the women folk will be coming over soon to do what they can, Miss Jane.
You're almost kind.
There's something else, Miss Jane. Maybe this ain't exactly the right time to bring it up, but all the men feel it's kind of important you hear it right off while Hopalong Cassidy can hear it, too.
You can talk to me anytime, Loomis. You know that.
Please say whatever it is, Mr. Loomis, if it's so important.
Yes, sir, Miss Jane. Your pa lost a lot of cattle to that Phantom, Panther. But we say leave it alone before anybody else gets killed.
You'd see this killer go loose?
This ain't no ordinary cat, Cassidy. I seen plenty of Indian medicine in my time, and I tell you, nobody'll ever see this cat, and nobody'll ever kill him.
Well, there's something in what Clark says, Cassidy. Lots of things just can't be explained or understood.
Suppose you explain just where this idea of yours leaves Miss Jane Purvis.
Yes, I'd like to hear that part of it, Mr. Loomis.
Well, it's up to you, Miss Jane, of course, but maybe you ought to sell out your herd now. At least you'd get some cash that way.
10 cents on the dollar. Would that be enough to keep you from foreclosing the mortgage on her range land, Loomis?
Well, business is business.
Nobody'd take it at any price. Not till that Phantom Panther gets himself back to where he come from. And that might be never.
Well, I wouldn't go so far, Clark. Now, as a neighborly gesture to give Miss Jane some further financial assistance, I personally would be glad to take an option on this range. Of course, if Miss Jane should decide to return, why, the papers can easily be torn up.
I guess that about covers everything. Or have you men got more ideas?
Now, look here, Cassidy. We're doing this to save trouble and maybe save lives. So you'd best stay out of this till you're asked into it.
Well, I'm asking Mr. Cassidy into it because I'm staying on this range. That's what Dad would have wanted, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yippee! What a gal.
I think you've got your answer, gentlemen.
Yeah, whatever you say, Miss Jane. And Cassidy, I still say this to you. If you want to go on risking your skin hunting that phantom panther, well, just go ahead.
I intend to. Tonight and every night until I get that killer.
Or, Mr. Cassidy, until it gets you.
Just too many cows here for just the two of us to watch, Hoppy.
We got only one thing to watch for, California. The Panther.
Yeah, and where's he going to strike from this time?
Well, there's a breeze tonight, and a panther would approach from downwind so the cows wouldn't get his scent. Let's ease over there between the herd and that gorge. This is about the right place. We're downwind of the herd here. Quiet now.
Cows are getting restless, Hoppy. Maybe something's among them, and
they may smell something. Keep watching.
Hoppy, I don't like it. Them cows is...
Listen. He's in there among them. We got to break into that herd.
We can't do it, Hoppy. They're coming right at us. Solid.
Quick, fire some shots. That may turn them.
Too late, Hoppy. They're stampeding.
And they're moving this way, fast.
Hoppy, we can't stop them. And we can't get out of this gorge. They'll smash us against the cliff.
Head for that cliff in the rocks, California. And ride. Ride for your life.
Yep, Miss Jane, Hoppy and me have had plenty of narrow escapes, but last night were only a little narrow crack in the cliff saves us from being trampled.
More ham, Mr. Carlson?
I've already... yeah, don't mind if I do, thank you.
I'm beginning to believe that Panther is everything they say. Besides stampeding the herd, he killed 2 more yearlings last night.
I'm beginning to believe we've been wrong, wasting our time.
I'm glad you think so, Mr. Cassidy, because I don't want you men to go on with it. The ranch and all the stock aren't worth any risk of lives.
It's a nice spread, though. In fact, I'd like to look it over. Mind if we do some exploring today, Miss Jane?
Well, you're welcome to, of course. And you won't hunt the panther any longer?
We won't, Miss Jane.
Just a minute, Hoppy. You really mean we're finished watching for that spook cat?
That's right, because I've got a hunch that tonight that panther will be finished.
Well, Cassidy, Miss Jane tells us you wanted a final get-together. So here we are, and we hope it is final.
All right, then. First of all, this morning, California and I did a little exploring on this range. We found 3 caves.
Caves? What's this all about, Cassidy?
If that panther's a real live animal, he's got to hole up in one or another of those caves. Now, I've drawn a map. You all can see where I marked the caves. There's 1 and 2 and 3.
Very interesting, Mr. Cassidy. Now, just what do you propose?
I want 2 men to cover each cave. If we don't find the panther, I'll agree it's a phantom and give up. And so we'll all be satisfied with whatever happens. Let's only use men who haven't openly opposed me on this panther business.
Well, that lets out me, Dixon, Clark, Ben, and let's see, Bolton, too.
Let's all understand this now, Cassidy. If no one sees the panther, but he still strikes tonight, you feel that it'll be useless to make any further attempts to stop him?
That's the idea, Dixon.
Oh, he'll strike all right. Ain't no use trying to trap that phantom. But if this thing will finally convince everybody, I'm all for it.
Hoppy, I still don't see why you didn't tell me about this fourth cave at the meeting.
Because, California, I didn't want anyone to know we were going to cover it. You see, this fourth cave was the only one that showed signs of anything having been in it.
You mean panther sign?
Well, at least not signs of any kind of panther I ever ran across before.
I wished it weren't so dark.
Yeah, it'll be darker in the cave. Now, here we are. Be quiet and be careful.
Don't worry. I ain't aiming to invite no attention to myself. Can you make out anything, Hoppy?
Eyes aren't used to the dark yet. Easy now. There's a bend in the cave back here.
I'm right behind you.
Wait, California. Hear that?
Yeah.
Come on. Don't talk.
The ledge above you, Hoppy. Look out! Watch out, Calip. Oh. Where are you, Hoppy? Oh, what in... it's getting away. Ain't sure I got him, Hoppy. Hoppy, Hoppy. Hoppy, you all right? Hoppy.
Well, Cassidy, what happened to you last night was all your own doing. You're lucky that Panther just knocked your head agin a rock. Now, suppose you'd had Jim Purvis call this meeting to tell us you're finally all through.
Yeah, we're through. And so is the Phantom Panther.
And I reckon his dead carcass is invisible, just like he was.
Yeah, I guess.
I didn't say he was dead yet. As for the carcass, I'll point it out to you when I'm ready.
Well, what are you talking about?
Please, everybody, let Mr. Cassidy explain.
Thank you, Miss Jane. When I examined that fourth cave yesterday, I saw marks on a smooth, flat ledge. Marks where something, maybe claws, had been sharpened. Something had been using that cave. And unless the Panther was a ghost, it had to have a hideout. I figured that cave was it.
That don't mean nothing.
It meant plenty. I'd noticed another thing. Each time any cows were killed and the herd stampeded, the Panther's cry came right from the middle of the herd. Any wild animal would have caused a commotion among the cattle as soon as they smelled it. That convinced me the Phantom Panther had to be a man.
A man?
What man could be such a low-down varmint?
A man whose ranch really had disadvantages. Not enough range and water. That man played on the old Indian bad medicine legend to ruin Pop Purvis by making it seem a ghost panther was killing and stampeding his stock.
What do you mean?
Day before yesterday, he thought he finally had scared everyone off, including Jane Purvis, and so offered an option to buy her ranch cheap. He'd never have torn up that option like he pretended he would. Yes, Dixon there is the Phantom Panther.
Why,
This is ridiculous.
Quiet, everybody! Cassidy, you made a serious charge here. But so far, it's all talk. You ain't proved a thing.
Last night, California fired 2 shots in that cave, and we found traces of blood.
Never miss at that range.
Take off Dixon's shirt, and you'll find bullet wounds.
I won't stand for this, I tell you.
Then how about this, Dixon? You dropped that when you attacked me in the cave last night. A glove with sharp steel claws riveted to it. The Panther's claws. You want to try the glove on and see how it fits, Dixon?
Hey, running for it. Hey, block the door.
There he goes for the window.
Stand still, everybody. I'll shoot the first man who moves.
Got a gun now.
Your game's up, Dixon. You might as well give in and take what's coming to you.
Is that so? Well, first, Mr. Hopalong Cassidy, you take what's coming to you.
Is he going to shoot?
Nice shooting, California. You picked his gun right out of his hand.
Sure. I didn't want to hurt him much.
Well, gentlemen, and Miss Jane, California and I'll leave you to deal in your own way with the Phantom Panther.
Mr. Cassidy, I don't know how I can ever thank you.
Miss Jane, when you're ready to marry that Gleason boy, Suppose you just invite California and me to the wedding.
Of course I will. And will you really come?
Oh, sure. I just love weddings, so long as they don't happen to me.
Goodbye for now from Hopalong in California. And here's a special invitation to join them next time they ride out from the Bar 20 when, as usual, I have a hunch they'll get into plenty of action that spells trouble.
Our final Western adventure brings Hopalong Cassidy into a town gripped by moral fervor and sudden violence. In The Women of Windy Ridge, a woman is barricaded in her home, accused of murder, while another leads a righteous crusade. But in a town divided, who truly holds the moral high ground, and what deadly secrets are being concealed?
With action and suspense out of the Old West comes the most famous hero of them all, Hopalong Cassidy, starring William Boyd. The ring of the silver spurs heralds the most amazing man ever to ride the prairies of the early West, Hopalong Cassidy, the same Hoppy you cheer in motion pictures, and the same California you've laughed at a million times. Raw courage and quick shooting have built a legend around this famous hero. Hopalong is a name to be feared, respected, and admired, for this great cowboy rides the trails of adventure and excitement. William Boyd as Hopalong Cassidy, and Andy Clyde as California. Here's Hoppy now with another new story.
The Women of Windy Ridge, we call this one, and it happened in western Oklahoma, in the narrow stretch that lies between Texas and Kansas. We had no real business being there at all, since we were on our way to a Kansas roundup. But California had remembered that Liz McCoy lived in a place called Windy Ridge. Liz McCoy, who could make the best beef stew west of Topeka. So, in Windy Ridge, we went looking for Liz and her beef stew. But what we found there had nothing to do with food. Before we rode into the little town...
Look-a here, you. I'm getting sick and tired of this, Wade. They tell me you haven't done a thing yet.
Why don't you let us alone, Steve? You may be mayor of this town, but I'm sheriff of the county.
But you've had 3 hours on this job, and you've done nothing. What's the matter?
She's a woman, Steve. It ain't the same with women.
It is when they're killers. I want her taken, Wade. I want her taken now.
Now listen, Steve. Liz has dynamite in that house, and she's promised to use it if we rush her.
What are you doing? Letting her buffalo you?
All right, Steve. Hang around a minute. You'll see how it is. Liz, can you hear me?
I'll hear you all right, and I'm sick of hearing you.
I'm giving you one last warning, Liz.
And I'm giving you one last warning, Wade. I'm giving you 10 seconds to get back across that street. You and the rest of your posse. If you don't, I'll blow you sky high. This is the last warning, Wade. The next poke that rattles that door gets it.
Well, come on. We'd better get back across the street like she says.
Hey, listen, Wade.
Shut up, Steve. That woman isn't fooling. Here, let's get in this doorway. It's getting dark. Maybe after a while she'll fall asleep.
Not Liz McCoy. She never sleeps.
Well, just the same, we'll wait. She might even decide to give up.
Hey, look, Wade. A couple of waddies stopping in front of Liz's place.
I better warn him.
Now, wait. Let's see what Liz does about it. A stranger, so it won't matter.
Steve, you've gone crazy.
Wait. You let one yap out of you, and I'll wrap this gun around your head.
You've gone crazy. You've let this reform fight go to your brain. Hey, look, they're knocking on her door. I'm going to stop
You're
them.
going to do nothing. That woman's a murderess. And this is going to deliver her into our hands.
Not if it means getting them fellers killed. Hey, get back from that door! Get back before you get close!
With California seeking out Liz McCoy, who makes the best beef stew west of Topeka, Hoppy has come to the town of Windy Ridge, Oklahoma. But here, as they're standing knocking at Liz McCoy's door, a warning shout comes from across the street, and a charge of dynamite explodes almost in their faces.
Running from
Hoppy, Gong, you all right, Hoppy?
Yeah, I'm all right. But I wouldn't have been if somebody hadn't yelled. Who did that?
I did. Here, we'd better all get back out of the way. No telling what that woman will do next.
Look, Wade. That explosion tangled up the whole front of her house. Maybe it got Liz, too.
And maybe it didn't. We won't take any more chances.
What's this all about? Who are you fellas?
My name's Wade. I'm sheriff here.
That explosion, what?
Liz McCoy did that. She's holed up in there.
And we aim to get her out.
Wait a minute. Why is she holed up?
Yeah, and why do you fellas aim to get her out? Liz McCoy happens to be a friend of ours.
And she also happens to be in trouble. The marshal of this place was stabbed to death this afternoon, and it seems that Liz McCoy did it.
Liz McCoy? Sheriff, you just ain't making sense. Liz McCoy wouldn't kill nobody. I've known her for years, and she just ain't that kind.
Well, people change. Anyway, the marshal's body is lying inside her house, and she won't give herself up.
What happens if she gives herself up?
She'll get a trial.
A fair trial?
Sure, it'll be a fair trial. What kind of people do you think we are?
I don't know. But if you're sure she'll have a fair trial, I'm willing to try going in for a talk with her.
Now, hold on now. She's liable to blast your head off if you get anywhere near her.
Maybe. But I'll take that chance.
And I'm taking it with you, Hoppy.
Oh, all right. If you want to take the chance. Hey, you might try going in from the side, from the top of that porch next door. We'll try and keep her attention out here.
Sounds like a good idea. Come on, California.
Dark in here. Wish there was a moon or something. I can't see a thing.
I can see you all right. You don't climb back out that window, I'm going to blow your heads off.
Don't shoot, Liz. It's California. California calls.
And hop along, Cassidy, Liz. We just want to help you.
Why, you two ornery polecats, what are you doing here?
Liz, you're in trouble. We want to help you.
Hoppin', nobody can help me.
What happened? You didn't kill the marshal, did you?
Oh, I never killed nobody in my life, but that ain't going to help me now.
Well, if you didn't kill him, Liz, give yourself up. Stand trial.
What, be hanged for something I didn't do? Not me.
Oh, Liz, they don't hang women out here.
That's where you're wrong, California. I've seen a woman hanged. Margie Benjamin over to Pascal's Gulch. The way things are in this town, I don't have a chance. Besides, I ain't going to let her mock me, sit there while I'm on trial a-grinning at me.
Who are you talking about, Liz?
Why, I'm talking about that Dolly Chester. Her and her fancy feathers. If it wasn't for Dolly Chester, I wouldn't be in this trouble.
Liz, give yourself up and stand trial.
No, not me, Hoppy. I'd rather shoot it out here in my own place and die with my self-respect.
What is it that's wrong, Liz? What's the cause of all this?
Why, they've gone crazy, that's what's wrong. Crazy with reform. And that woman's the cause of it. Now get on out of here, you two, before them others try sneaking in here while I'm talking. And you can tell that sheriff that I've got 2 shotguns waiting for them as I don't get with the dynamite.
Well, what'd she say?
She doesn't think she'll get a fair trial. What's behind all this, Sheriff? What was the cause of the marshal being killed?
Well, there's a reform movement on in this town, and there's already 3 men dead because of it. Liz McCoy got into trouble because she wouldn't close her gambling place.
Gambling place? You mean Liz had been running one?
That's right. And when Trainer ordered her to close it, she told him to go soak his head.
Who's Dolly Chester? Liz said something about Dolly Chester being the cause of all the trouble.
I guess you could say she is. It's Dolly Chester that's leading the reform movement. And I can't stand here talking. I've got to do something about getting Liz McCoy out of that house.
Wait a second, Sheriff. Why don't you hold off a while? I've been thinking that if this Dolly Chester guaranteed Liz a fair trial, Liz might give herself up.
Yeah? And who's going to get Dolly Chester to do that? Not me. Or not any other man in this town.
I'll talk to her.
You mean you'll try? Ain't a man in the world ever got anywhere talking to feathers. And the same will go for you.
Yeah? Where can I find her?
Well, that won't give you no trouble. The biggest and best-looking house in town. And she's the prettiest woman in these parts. And if you think you can handle her, you're plumb loco.
Wait a moment, friend. I
I'll walk with you. I heard what you said to the sheriff back there about talking Liz McCoy into giving herself up. It made me wonder.
What about?
Why you should want to meddle in things that don't concern you.
Liz McCoy is a friend of mine.
And you think you'll help her by giving her that kind of advice?
How would you help her?
I'm working on that. I'm doing my best to get her out of town.
That would make her seem guilty.
Should also help her to live longer. You must be unaware of the bitterness there is in this town, friend. The reform movement they have going has incited a lot of people to hysteria. The kind of hysteria that breeds lynch mobs.
You speak as a man of education, but I don't know you.
I'm Fergal, a gambler. I run a place called the Blue Emerald.
I see. Well, I appreciate your advice, but I think you're wrong. I've never known anyone to help himself by going on the run.
If Liz McCoy stays in Windy Ridge, she may pay with her life. I know that, and Liz knows it. Liz and I are in the same business, and I always take care of my kind.
Suppose this Dolly Chester is willing to guarantee Liz McCoy a fair trial.
Dolly Chester will guarantee nothing to anyone, and your interference will only confuse things.
It'd take gunplay for you to get Liz from under the nose of that sheriff. He's tough and determined, and he has determined men with him.
Well, you're a man of your own opinions, friend. So I must warn you to stay out of it.
And if I don't?
You may not see the end of this street.
Then I guess I'd better go on my way alone.
Yes, perhaps you had. Good night, friend.
Hey, you there!
Sorry, I'm not stopping.
You better stop.
Why? Aren't you good on moving targets? Stay out of this, whoever you are.
I'm telling you to stop.
Better change your business, stranger. You're in a deadly trade.
And this is one job I'm gonna finish.
Bartram! Where is he, Bartram?
I'm here, Fergal. You'd better come and get your gunman. I have business of my own with Dolly Chester.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, I did.
Do you always stare like that?
So that's why they call you Feathers.
Who calls me that?
Oh, several people. Maybe the whole town. Plumes. And never have I seen them so delightfully displayed.
And what else did they tell you?
They told me there wasn't a man in the world who could handle you.
And I suppose you came here because of that? To satisfy yourself as to whether they're right or wrong?
I came here because a friend of mine is in trouble.
Who are you?
The name is Cassidy, but my friends call me Hoppy.
You're a stranger here.
Yes, I sort of get around. But I want to talk about Liz McCoy. I'm going to ask you to help her.
Help her? How?
By assuring her that she'll have a fair trial if she gives herself up.
And why should I do that?
You're a woman.
Yes, I am. Probably more woman than you've ever seen in your life, for all of your getting around. And that's just the reason I won't help Liz McCoy. Because the man she killed today was the man I was going to marry.
Hoppy has been given a couple of hours in which to save the life of Liz McCoy, an old friend of California's. Liz, barricaded in her home, swears she's innocent of the killing of Brent Traynor and won't give herself up unless she is guaranteed a fair trial by Dolly Chester, leader of the town's reform movement against gaming halls. Hoppy has just made the request to Dolly Chester, and the lady has just flatly refused him.
You know what it'll mean, don't you? You're saying no?
I suppose it could mean anything.
It means that Liz McCoy will blow herself up when the sheriff and his men move in. And maybe she'll blow up one or two of the others with her.
I don't see how that concerns me.
You know, the more I talk to you, the more I feel that nothing concerns you except those fancy feathers you're wearing.
Now you're being impudent.
And I suppose that is being disloyal. I suppose nobody even dares to be impudent to the Queen of Windy Ridge. Miss Chester, what you need is a good spanking.
Oh? And do you think you're man enough to give it to me?
Yes, I think I am.
I guess you might be at that. I guess you might. Hoppy, go back to your Liz McCoy. Tell her I guarantee that she'll get a fair trial.
Well, Cassidy, I'm sure relieved. And I'm much obliged to you. I've got that deputy of mine ready to take Liz McCoy over to Reddington. Be safer for her there. Safer for all of us.
Sheriff, how would Fergal figure in this?
I don't know. Blue Emerald's just outside the town limits. The only gambling place around that the mayor can't close up.
Has Fergal always been friendly with Liz McCoy?
Liz has always hated his insides, and she's never been backward about telling him.
What about this reform movement? What do you think of it?
Cassidy, this is a raw country. Its people have to blow off steam somehow.
Yeah.
Bottle them up and you breed trouble.
Yeah, you're right there, Sheriff.
Steve Graham was a good mayor until he started off on this campaign. Now he's full of fever, and so are the rest of the folks. And the worst part of it is going to come when those trail herds from Texas start moving through here next week. With this no gambling, no drinking fever, the folks are just waiting for 'em. You're going to see a bloody time, Cassidy. A bloody time.
Was the gambling harmful?
Oh, not that I ever noticed. Marshal always kept everything under control. Who's that?
I couldn't tell for sure under that lantern out there. But I think it's my partner and the mayor.
Mayor? Well, it can't be.
Wade, I want...
Hey, I thought you and my deputy were taking Liz McCoy over to Reddington.
Not me, Wade. There was bail put up, and Judge Lawson said she could go free until the trial.
Bail? Of all the... Who put it up?
Fergal. He said she was his kind and he was going to help her.
And Liz wants to see you, Hoppy, right away. Over to her house. She said to come even if it was late.
Hey, that rips everything. Come on, Pete. We better start swearing in more deputies. We're going to need 'em. And Cassidy, if you and your pal are willing, I'll start with you two.
That explosion sure tangled this place up. Seems kind of silly to be knocking on this door.
Hold it a second.
Why?
Didn't you hear that?
What?
I thought I heard voices. Somebody sort of gasped or choked.
And the light just went out. Come on, let's get through these right timbers.
Yeah. Might have been easier if we'd have gone around the back way.
Ain't no back way. House sets into the side of the hill. Hoppy, there's something wrong here. Wish there was more light.
Yeah. Well, at least we're through that stuff.
Yeah. This ought to be the front room. What? Doggone it.
What's the matter?
Went flat in my fool face.
Stay quiet a second. Liz? Liz, are you here?
Like being in a grave. Like,
What's the matter now?
Push my face into cobwebs or something. Hoppy, ain't you got a match? This is getting on my nerves.
I'm way ahead of you. There's a lamp we can light if I can get to it. Uh-oh. Gotta light another match.
Hey, what was that?
Could be more of those boards just falling. And it could be somebody making them fall. There. Now we got the lamp.
Yeah, that's better. Let's see if Liz is in this other room.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be gall darned. Sitting in a chair fast asleep.
I'm afraid it's going to be a long sleep, California. Take another look. There's a knife buried in her chest.
It's suicide, I tell you. That woman knew she'd be convicted of the marshal's murder, and she killed herself.
I don't agree with you, Mr. Mayor. Liz McCoy wasn't the type of woman to kill herself, whatever kind of problem she might have had.
Ah, that's ridiculous. Anyone can kill themselves, for any reason.
Sure.
And I'm sure that's what our coroner's jury will say about it. And with this over and done with, we'll finish the business of cleaning up this town.
I'd say you've already finished it, and maybe the town as well.
What do you mean by that?
Steve, I think Mr. Cassidy's right. I think it's time to let up on our crusade. You've been getting too upset over it, Steve.
Why,
You've closed up all the gambling places in town. Don't you think that's enough?
With 4 people dead, I think it's more than enough.
Mr. Cassidy,
Yes, Miss Chester.
could I talk to you?
Mind if I make it a little later? Right now, I'm heading for the county recorder's office.
Look, do you have to go through every paper in the place? Can't that clerk help you?
Shh, quiet. The clerk's an old man, and he doesn't see very well. I'm just about through anyway.
Right, Hoppy, but I sure don't get it.
You will, California, because I think I've come up with the exact reason for all this trouble they've been having in Windy Ridge.
Hello, Cassidy. Don't tell me you're one of the few people around here who can read.
Hello, Fergal. Yes, I can read. It's a habit I picked up when I was quite young.
Thinking of buying some property in the neighborhood?
Not for a few years yet. I still like to get around and see things.
I imagine you see a lot of things, Cassidy. Too many, perhaps.
I notice you're wearing a gun, Fergal. You didn't have it on yesterday.
No, I only strap it on when I feel there's the possibility of personal unpleasantness.
I see.
Of course, I could take it off again, if you were willing to leave town. You might think about that, my friend.
Yeah.
There goes bad medicine, Hoppy. A chunk of ice, and probably chain lightning with a gun.
He wears it as though he's used to it. But we can't worry about that. Not now, anyway.
So you came back, Hoppy.
Didn't you think I would?
I hoped you would. Because I can't seem to get you out of my mind.
Well, that could be a compliment.
It's meant to be.
And coming from a woman as beautiful as you are, well, I'm impressed.
Do you like my house, Hoppy?
I guess it's about the fanciest home I've ever been in, especially for a town like this.
I chose this town deliberately, Hoppy. I picked it out and came to it when it was just beginning. I decided to make it my town because I wanted to grow with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is growing. We're the county seat now. Soon there'll be a railroad coming here. It's going to be a big town. And I'm going to be the most important woman in it. But a woman doesn't like to go her way alone. Oh, Hoppy, stop twirling your head. Just look at me.
How about Traynor, the marshal?
Oh, that was never a particularly flaming affair.
At least, not on your part.
That's right.
From what I hear, he had it pretty bad for you, though.
Perhaps that's why I said I'd marry him. I really only wanted to be kind. But with you, Hoppy...
Traynor had it so bad for you that he didn't quite know what to do when he found out you were crooked.
When he found out I was... What on earth are you talking about?
I'm talking about the fact that you own a half interest in Fergal's gambling hall. I'm talking about how you engineered this so-called reform movement so all the town competition would be wiped out, with Fergal's place the only one left because it's beyond the city limits.
Wherever did you get such a fantastic idea?
From a very factual source, the county recorder's office. You didn't have much time to lose, did you? Most people out here can't read. The recorder's an old man, almost blind. You weren't very likely to be caught. But I guess the marshal caught on, didn't he? But he loved you. So he made the mistake of telling you he knew, and you killed him.
Liz McCoy killed him. He died in her home.
Liz McCoy would have used a gun. She was that kind. The knife was your touch, Dolly. And you did the same thing to Liz to make it look like a guilty suicide.
Hoppy, in a few years it won't matter. But right now, the town wouldn't like it if it knew about this.
No.
It'd be a shame to have me get in trouble for it, don't you think, Hoppy? Sort of a waste.
Well, you're a very beautiful woman.
And you have a lot on me.
Mm-hmm.
Enough to keep me entirely in your control. Entirely.
Mm-hmm.
How about it, Hoppy?
I'll think about it, Dolly. But in the meantime, I'm going to walk you over to the sheriff's office and turn you in for murder.
You fool! You insolent fool! Fergal!
I'm here, Dolly. Don't move, Cassidy. Just keep those hands and that hat away from those holsters.
Not giving me much of a break, are you, Fergo?
I never give anybody a break, Cassidy. It's the way I do business.
If this were stud poker, you'd be high man. But high card showing isn't always the best, is it?
It is this time, Cassidy. Because you don't even get a chance to draw.
Take it easy, Hoppy. This leg's going to lay you up for a while.
How about Dolly Chester?
We got her, Cassidy. And you know something? She's already squawking about getting a fair trial. But how'd you happen to down Fergal when he had the drop on you?
I figured ahead of time that I'd be in the middle, so I had a derringer inside my hat. But it almost wasn't big enough.
Well, you did a great job, Cassidy. The town already has its sense back. And I'm not going to have to worry about them Texas trail riders.
But how did you know, Hoppy? How'd you figure it was Dolly Chester?
Did you ever know Liz McCoy to keep a dirty house, California?
Shucks, no. She was about the cleanest party alive.
Right. So when you were crawling around on her floor last night, I didn't see how you could be pushing your face into cobwebs like you said. But I did figure it could be feathers with Miss Chester wearing them as she sneaked by us in the dark.
She was feathers?
Yeah.
Well, I'll be gol darned. Yes, sir. I'll be gol darned.
And that brings to a close the story of The Women of Windy Ridge. Hopalong Cassidy, starring William Boyd, is transcribed and produced in the West by Walter White, Jr. The Women of Windy Ridge was written by Buckley Angel, with original music under the personal direction of Albert Glasser. All stories are based upon the characters created by Clarence E. Mulford. This is a Commodore production.
From the tense standoffs in Dodge City to the hidden dangers on the open range, this episode of classic radio drama theater has taken us deep into the complexities of the American West. We hope you enjoyed these 4 gripping stories of flawed heroes, desperate choices, and frontier justice. Which tale kept you guessing the most? Let us know your favorite in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a journey back to the golden age of radio. Until next time, remember, the echoes of the West still call.